State officials are continuing to work towards better career and technical education. More on where local manufacturing fits into that. Plus, Denny Spinner is our guest for Monday with the Mayor, and Jennifer Monarch discusses the start of DuBois County 4-H recruitment tonight on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We begin with a pair of county police departments continuing to look into weekend auto burglaries that were eerily similar in nature. In Jasper, JPD is looking into two vehicle break-ins that happened between 6 and 7 o'clock Saturday evening. The first one happened at Full Out Tumble and Cheer along Cathy Lane. The second took place at the Animal Medical Center along Crossroads Avenue. Now, Jasper police say both vehicles had their windows smashed out with some sort of tool, and women's purses were stolen out of each vehicle. Anyone who noticed anything suspicious in either area is asked to call JPD at 812-482-2255 or the department's anonymous tip line at 812-481-COPS. Meanwhile, Ferdinand police say something similar happened sometime between 5:30 and 8:30 on Saturday night behind Tres Agaves Mexican Grill. Authorities say someone knocked out windows in two vehicles parked behind the restaurant with some sort of tool, and women's purses left on the front seat were taken. Any information on this case can be reported by calling DuBois County Dispatch at 482-9111. Now, police across the country are again reminding the public to either take their valuables with them or lock them in the trunk when leaving their vehicle. Additionally, you should always lock your vehicles, even if you're only leaving for a couple of minutes. Residents in DuBois County who wish to burn debris or other items can now go back to doing so. The DuBois County Commissioners announced over the weekend that they have lifted the countywide burn ban. That ban had been in place for about a week due to the lack of rainfall. Now, county officials say last week's rainfall ended the need for the burn ban as vegetation in the ground got just enough moisture. With the lifting of the burn ban, several burning activities can now resume, which include open burning with conventional fuels like wood, burning of debris from timber, vegetation, or even construction projects, and campfires and recreational fires like bonfires and pit fires. Now, county officials say burning of trash, including plastics, cans, bottles, tires, and food waste, is strictly prohibited by both local and state law. Martin and Spencer counties still have burn bans in place as of news time. As Indiana's economy continues to be led by the manufacturing sector, manufacturing education is working to keep up. Thursday's celebration of National Manufacturing Day at the Center for Technology, Innovation, and Manufacturing on the Vincennes University Jasper campus was an example of that work. There were several different developments on display, specifically in advanced manufacturing, which included a virtual welder that students could practice on to sharpen skills. Of course, the CTIM program launched back in May of 2013 with the opening of the CTIM building. Ray Niehaus is the director of the CTIM program. He says the advancements in the manufacturing sector are being met by better technology, along with more people taking an interest in the CTIM program.
It's growing tremendously, and as the technologies come in, we got the second group of CAP students this year, 19 new students. And it's just exciting to see what's going on with them and how much more they advanced after the first year. And we're learning too.
Now, Niehaus says there is still work to do in keeping up as manufacturing, particularly advanced manufacturing, continues to reinvent itself for the future. The need for manufacturing education in Indiana is also being underscored by state officials. Indiana Department of Workforce Development Commissioner Steve Braun stopped by Thursday. Braun says getting needed job skills aligned with education at all levels is still a work in progress.
We are working to put together a demand framework on a statewide basis to really model all 800 occupations across the state, manufacturing included in that, and to really find out which ones are growing aggressively, how aggressively, which ones, quite frankly, are shrinking as well, so that we can then go back and take that demand perspective and use it to really align how we teach and train all the way down into high schools and community college and higher ed to be able to build the right skills at the right time.
Now, in the past, local educators have thrown out the possibility of internships at the high school level to help close the state's ongoing skills gap. Braun says it's the right idea and one that needs to be pursued more.
Internships are the holy grail. We'd love every company to be able to invest in working with young people for the purpose of getting them up to speed on what their work environment's all about, as well as, quite frankly, giving them an opportunity to be exposed to good kids that are coming through that system. The problem is that right now we don't do enough of it to really make a significant difference, so we are intent on growing that very aggressively. And again, it's the holy grail.
Braun says he has worked with educators over the last few months, particularly career and technical educators. He says the goal is to expand the state's CTE initiatives further once his department can show there is a demand for manufacturing and other skilled positions throughout Indiana. October marks the heart of harvest time across our area and throughout Indiana. State officials say it's also the busiest time of year for farmers, and the risk of accidents, injuries, and deaths due to extra farm equipment out on roads only goes up. State data supports that, showing that accidents between motor vehicles and farm equipment are at their highest point during harvest season. Now, farm machines do move much slower than other vehicles, as you may be aware. District 48 Senator Mark Messmer says if you come up on farm equipment, there are several things to keep in mind.
I encourage all Hoosiers to be alert and mindful on the roadways during harvest time. Farm machines move at much slower speeds than most vehicles and are much wider than a normal vehicle. Be ready to slow down, be patient, move over, or even come to a stop to allow the equipment to pass. Farmers will be working hard this fall to provide us with food on our tables, and drivers need to work to stay out of harm's way. Please remain alert and follow these safety tips to keep our rural roads safe for all Hoosiers.
Now, Indiana State Police have issued several tips both for farmers and for drivers. ISP says farmers should have all lighting and play cards required by law on their equipment. Make sure any equipment parked along a roadway is visible at night, and wear high visibility clothing when working at night so drivers can see you. On the other side of the coin, ISP says drivers need to stay patient when traveling behind farm equipment, as they have the same rights to the roadway as you do. When approaching farm equipment from the opposite direction, pull to the right of the traveled portion of the road to allow it to pass. Finally, when passing farm machinery, be sure to look for left turn signals or hand signals and make sure there is plenty of distance to safely make the pass. And finally tonight, this week is Fire Prevention Week all across Indiana, and the State Fire Marshal's Office wants you to be prepared. Indiana Fire Marshal James Greason says there are several steps to take to ensure you are guarded against fires. These include installing smoke alarms in each bedroom, outside of each separate sleeping area, and on each level of your home, including in the basement. Now, Greason says there are other tips to follow as well, and these are test smoke alarms every month and change your batteries at least once every 6 months, replace smoke alarms every 8 to 10 years, and know the difference between the two types of smoke alarms. On a final note, Greason says smoke alarms provide extra time for escape, but families and businesses need to practice an escape plan in the event of a real fire. Escape plans should be practiced both during the day and at night. For more information on fire safety, you can go online to getprepared.in.gov. All right, coming up after the break, Denny Spinner is next for Monday with the Mayor, and later, more on how you can get your kids involved in Du Bois County 4-H. We're back after this.